Good morning to you. It must be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a beautiful Friday, November 27th of 2020, because it's time for another edition of Hardison's Tips. I'm your host, Brandon Hardison. And for all of the salespeople that are out there, whether it's key account, major account, up and down the street, in home sales, retail, or automotive sales, we hope that you're enjoying the Thanksgiving weekend with your family and friends in a safe and distancing way. But for those that still have to get up and do it, we have something for you. So let's get right to it. Why not use questions to close a deal? We begin to close a sale only when we answer customers' objections. Ask questions is the key to identifying objections. That's what we need to get around our head. I'll say that again. We begin to close a sale only when we are answering customers' objections. Asking questions is the key to identifying objections. A major difference between an average salesperson and superstars is the ability to ask questions. Superstars ask the questions to get the information they need to close the sale. An average salesperson can't provide meaningful solutions because they don't ask the right questions to uncover the customer's problems. So, why don't they ask? Well, some salespeople avoid questions because they don't want to annoy the customer or receive answers they may not want to hear. They don't understand that asking meaningful, high gain questions is a key part of selling. Because when you do that, here's what you'll get. Questions give you the opportunity to get to know your customer. The more we know about what type of vehicle they're interested in buying, then they will share the information. Questions give the customer a feeling of participation in the buying decision process. Questions can also determine whether or not prospect is a good potential customer. And don't forget that questions gives you an opportunity to determine if a customer can agree with what you're saying. So, are there some guidelines? Yeah, like everything else, there's guidelines for developing questions. Get the answers to things you need to find out. You want to know the most urgent information you need early in your sales presentation. Be phrased and effective. It's important to phrase yourself in a way where it's not boring, it's not defensive, but the customer can always know that you are listening to their needs, wants, and desires. Be in proper sequence order. Remember, a customer doesn't buy a vehicle every day. It's maybe their first time in a dealership, maybe their first time in 3 years, 5 years or more in the dealership. So there's a sequence of the information that you need, and we need to do it in order. Well, what's one of the best ways to keep yourself organized with the questions to make sure that you still make the customer feel comfortable with you and that you're there for their needs? How about asking some closed-in questions? Are you ready to buy now? Guess what you'll get back? A good no. Here's some things that we need to do. We need to start with open-ended questions. For example, when would you like to take delivery? Who should we call when your vehicle is ready? Or what do you plan to do with your present vehicle? Use silence effectively. In other words, once you ask a question, especially a closing question, don't say another word. Wait for the customer to break the silence and make the decision. Not every closing question is going to result in a firm order moving forward. It only might result in an agreement on selling part of what's in the customer's head. Example, they like the feature advantage benefits or the trim level, but they still want to take a test drive to see if it would convince them. Effective closing questions helps you signal the customer that it's time to make a decision. And when you know that you're working with the customer, not pushing them, but working with the customer by effective listening, that's when you know that this actually works. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, on this beautiful Friday, November 27th of 2020. I hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. But for the salespeople that have to get out there and make it happen, you go out and you make it a champion.